Hello, YouTube. Steller cow. What this 8-meter, 5-ton beast looked like now can only be imagined from pictures. But despite its impressive size, it actually could have become the first domesticated marine animal. It could be like a cow, only living in coastal shallows or paddocks and chewing on seaweed. Laminaria is a genus of brown seaweed in the order Laminariales kelp, comprising 31 species native to the North Atlantic and Northern Pacific Oceans. That's what the animal loved to eat. Now this gigantic beast, resembling an elephant in size, is not on this planet anymore. It's listed in the so-called Black Book of Extinct Species, and Vologda and Arkhangelsk hunting entrepreneurs or tycoons from centuries ago are partly to blame for its disappearance. The sea beast was destroyed at the end of the 18th century, in the era when Vitus Bering, a Russian explorer from Denmark, went on an expedition to Kamchatka. Later, the island was named after him there, and the archipelago was named Commander. Then the Europeans first saw these sea cows, or as they were called for the name type of the food they ate, kapustnitsa, sea cabbage, name for laminaria in Russian. So it happened in November of 1741. A member of Bering's expedition, naturalist and physician Georg Steller, described and sketched a hitherto prior to that time unseen giant. And after the captain of the expedition, he also received his share of the fame of the discoverer. In honor of the naturalist, the sea cow was later named Steller's cow. The story is about Bering's journey to the islands east of Kamchatka and the skins of sea animals that he brought along from his journeys amazed his contemporaries. Rumors about the riches of the Eastern Sea reached the Russian Vologda region, and the inhabitants of the northern lands began to equip their fishing expeditions to distant lands. And after the government expedition, the Vologda and then the other Russian cities reached out to Kamchatka, went to Kamchatka for luck and money. On the Commander Islands, fur hunters hunted sea otter, fur seal, and blue fox. The kapustnitsa was hunted primarily for its delicious meat and skin, which was also used to make boats. Whaling ships stopped to replenish supplies and took with them the meat of slaughter cows as provisions. From 1743 to 1763, several batches of fur traders remained on the islands for the winter. And I think on the average they caught 123 cows each year. And most of all, it was, as they called it, mined, hunted in 1754, barbarously killing over 500 heads. This turned out to be enough for Steller's cow to be completely destroyed less than 30 years after its discovery. There is evidence that the last animal was eaten by the Russians. It was caught by the team of an explorer, the hunting tycoon Fedot Popov, who was born in Kholmogory. If it were not for the preserved skeletons and not for the scientific records and drawings of Steller, the sea cow would have passed into the category of legends and fantastic creatures. Its descriptions are well known among scholars and historians. Based on the observations and biology lessons, so to say, and Steller's information, they talk about how the marine animal looked like and where the animal lived According to Steller's observation, these bulky animals grazed in the shallow water and plucked algae or seaweed thickets. These insatiable creatures don't stop eating. They have little interest in what is happening around them, not caring at all about preserving their own lives and safety, he wrote. Steller noted that cow meat was not only tasty but also healthy, and the travelers or sailors with scurvy quickly regained their strength after eating this meat. Meanwhile, here's another little-known description of the cow made by Vologda explorers. Stepan Cherepanov, a merchant from Tatьма, left travel notes after his journey to the Aleutian Islands in 1759-1762. They were last published in the book Voyages and Discoveries of Russian Entrepreneurs in 1948. The staff of the Tatьма Museum of Local Lore, they have archival records. I will share some excerpts from notes on the cow hunting and its description by merchant Cherepanov, written in Old Russian. I will try to preserve the style and at least how the geographical locations were called. So it goes like this. In 1762, August, 3 days in the office of the port of Okhotsk, Tatьma merchant Stefan Yakovlev, son of Cherepanov, showed me a tale. In the last year, 759, he, Cherepanov, was accepted in Kamchatka into a company owned by merchants from Tula for navigation in the absence of the Zaymans there. And after several times during that voyage, the Komandrosky Island, where after a late stop they wintered, and in the wintering they had a fishery of sea cows for their food. Now, right now I'll skip very gory details of the hunt. It was described in minute detail. So let me read just this. And fishing happens in this way. When there are no winds and waves in the sea, then 10 people go out in a leather kayak. 2 of them, and sometimes 1, stands at the stern of that kayak, getting ready with a pole which has an iron hook at the end. It was easy to hunt an animal that never swam away from the shore. And there is meat weighing, except fat, 150 fat pounds from everywhere, 2 kidneys, like cattle, weighing 7 pounds both, and all of this cow's inner giblets are similar in everything to cattle giblets, and meat and fat are very tasty and healthy when used in food, and especially the kidneys are tasty. To be fair, let's say that even though the northern hunting tycoons contributed to the destruction of the marine giant, the Steller cows did not have too many chances to live up to the present time. Modern scientists believe that by the time of the discovery, there were already less than 2,000 sea cows, and humans had a chance to preserve the population of that animal. Wonderful animal from the descriptions, if the humans hunted no more than 17 individuals per year. And the sea cows survived into the 18th century only because the Commander Islands had not yet been conquered by man. Let me give you some comments from the Russians who have discussed online the fate of the extinct marine animals. Human greed is boundless. Steller's description of the hunt is just as brutal, even with more details. He has very detailed notes. The uniqueness of the situation here is precisely that the Vologda entrepreneur made notes about the disappeared animal. And yes, people certainly did not care about eco-friendly prey. In fact, they attacked an animal that was not able to defend itself and hide. Another comment. There was also a large bird in Siberia, a wild goose, the size of a capercaillie bird. It wasn't afraid of people at all and was completely exterminated by them. It is curious that Steller writes that the giblets were thrown away, especially the kidneys, and the Tatьma merchant, on the contrary, praises the giblets. More comments. There is no worse predator and beast on earth than a human. A sea animal lived for itself, did not bother anyone, chewed algae, gave birth to children every 2 years, escaped from predators, and unfortunately, it was tasted by people who were too lazy to carry seaweed and cranberries in barrels with them. It was easier and tastier to get the harmless animal, skin it, take some of it, throw the remaining carcass on the shore as a gift to local wildlife. So the predators lured to the resting places of the cows, they killed the cubs and forced the adults to migrate to where the food supply of a certain type of seaweed at a shallow depth was scarce. And of course, this is an egregious case. Record time has passed from the discovery of the Steller cow to its complete extermination. There were many factors that led to this tragedy. The habitat was small, there were relatively few cows themselves, and alas, these were unhurried dumb mammals that had no natural enemies. Let's see what else. They did not run away at the sight of hunters. They did not resist, although with a blow of their tail or just a rush, they could easily turn over a fishing boat. The Zoological Museum in Moscow has a perfectly preserved skeleton of a sea cow, huge, powerful, like a whale's ribs and bones. It's a pity. How many of these unique animals have been destroyed by humans, starting from a small wandering pigeon and ending with such giants? And as for giants, the population of white rhinoceros is also rapidly decreasing. We finished what the locals did not eat. Russian cows were preserved only on the Commander Islands in the very wilderness of the Far East, not by chance. And the comment goes like this: Russians have been accused again. By the 18th century, there were very few left. So the main merit in their disappearance does not belong to us after all, and to those people who lived there from time to time immemorial. And do not forget about the American and European whalers, which were much more numerous than ours there or nearby. And they killed local animals in much larger numbers than the Russians did. Okay, I read you the comments. I'm not going to blame any particular ethnicity for hunting animals into extinction. That's futile, just like the slaughter of dolphins on our planet today by Japanese, and I think others too. It's disgusting to me. Just like the whaling expeditions of other nations, humans are the same all over basically. But hopefully, one day we will evolve. This is what I wanted to let you know and to tell you about a wonderful, gigantic, peaceful sea animal or marine animal that was hunted into extinction but could have been domestic. Can you imagine domesticating animals like that? Anyway, that's the story, and if you like my research, please support me in the links you will find in the description to this video. I'll tell you more interesting stories about unique animals on this planet. And if you like my videos, please also like my videos and tell others about my channel. Thank you.